Hey everyone, welcome to week 3 of Making Relationships Work.
Yeah, over the last 2 weeks, we've studied the two-sided coin of submission and honor. Submission is the posture, honor is the practice. And to help us remember to apply these principles to our relationship, we started to build a little 3-letter formula. And week 1 was all about S, living selfless.
Week 2 put another two-sided coin in our hands, covenant and awareness. Covenant and vows are the promise you make. Awareness or faithfulness is the promise you live out. One of the best questions that came out of our study was, are we being truthful?
Jesus showed us how to live selfless, and he showed us how to live truthful. Are you staying true to your covenant? Are you aware of what truly is going on in your marriage? Is your relationship transparent and true?
Well, today we're going to talk about something every couple wants, but not every couple knows how to keep.
The spark, energy, passion, that sense of aliveness in your relationship. Because let's be honest, relationships don't usually explode, but most often they quietly cool and become dormant.
The Bible says something fascinating about sparks. James writes this, in the same way, the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. James is speaking about angry words, but his point is true for any words. Sparks, by their very nature, are small. Not a bonfire, not fireworks, not a grand romantic gesture, just something small that lands in the right place and lights a fire. That's a spark.
Now, to know me is to know that I love following salvage sites.
Love may not actually be strong enough a word.
Okay, I'm a little infatuated with them. I mean, there's this one run by a charity that accepts donated vehicles, cars, boats, RVs, and auctions them off to raise money. And I scroll through the site, and all I see is possibility.
Yeah, he'll often show me his latest find, and all I see is rust, dents, broken parts, blown engines, and the very clear reason someone gave it away.
I, on the other hand, am already planning a rescue mission. So I drive 12 hours, load it on a trailer, and drive 12 hours back.
He pulls into the driveway like a hunter returning with his prize and says, isn't she a beauty? She's not.
Thankfully, the listing usually includes a mechanical report. And the most common problem that I read with boats anyway is no spark. Somewhere deep inside the engine, a wire corroded, a connection loosened, a part failed. The engine still looks intact, but it won't fire.
And many marriages are just like that. If we could put them on a hoist and run diagnostics, the report would come back the same. No spark.
So how does a couple get the spark back? Is it possible to reignite and strengthen the spark?
Absolutely. And to help, let's talk about the two-sided coin of intentionality and sacrifice.
Hey, let's go back to high school. Back to the science lab. I want to ask you a question. Do you remember the difference between entropy and atrophy? Entropy is what happens when heat naturally moves away and things cool.
Like hot coffee cools, campfire fades, your phone gets drained and dies. Not because something catastrophic happened, but because fresh energy or fuel wasn't added.
Atrophy sounds similar, but it's different. When I was 12 years old, I broke my arm, and it was a really bad break, and I was in a cast for a long time. And when the cast finally came off, my arm was wasted away. I mean, it was weak, it was pale, barely recognizable.
And that's called atrophy, a lack of nourishment and a lack of use. It causes muscles to weaken.
Here's the point. Many relationships are quietly suffering from both entropy and atrophy. And they will continue to cool and become disordered and weaken and become pale and barely recognizable unless there's a strategic effort to interrupt those natural processes, and we call that intentionality.
The Apostle Paul puts it plainly in Ephesians 5. Be careful how you live. Make the most of every opportunity. Don't act thoughtlessly.
Yeah, that's not poetic fluff. That's a call to live on purpose.
Now, we don't have time to teach this out, but intentionality shows up in 3 big ways. First, in direction. Where are we actually going together?
Do you ever stop long enough to ask, are we heading somewhere, or are we just going through the motions?
Direction shows up when couples talk about the season they're in, what's heavy, what's hopeful, what they want the next year or 5 years to look like.
When couples stop drifting and start aiming for something, setting some goals and catching some vision, they inject energy into the relationship.
Second, it's time. Every single one of us is using our time to pursue something. It might be work or kids or a phone or screen, a hobby, a worry. And the question isn't whether you're pursuing something, it's what and who.
Yeah, relationships don't cool because couples fall out of love. They cool because love keeps getting whatever time is left over. When you intentionally protect time, choosing your spouse over other options, sharing unhurried time, undistracted time, regular dates, daily check-ins, you're fueling the fires.
And third is words. Are your words careless or carefully aimed? Are they thoughtless words that drain energy or intentional words that restore it?
A compliment instead of a criticism, curiosity instead of assumptions, encouragement instead of silence, welcoming tones rather than tones laced with superiority. Well-chosen words add fuel to the fire and fan the spark.
Living passionate is the third letter in our STP formula. Selfless, truthful, passionate. But passion isn't sustained by chemistry alone. Intentionality ignites passion, but sacrifice gives it staying power.
Now, when most people hear the word passion, they picture a steamy movie scene, a fiery emotion, sexual chemistry. And that's not wrong, but it's incomplete.
Because the word passion actually has two meanings. One is desire, but the other is sacrifice.
And that's why Christians talk about the passion of the Christ. In both Latin and ancient Greek are words that lead to the English word passion, but mean suffering and sacrifice.
And Jesus' passion wasn't just a feeling or emotion. It was a decision. It was a declaration. This is how far I would go, and this is what I'd give up, and this is what price I will pay because I love you.
So if you've lost a spark, or if your relationship has cooled, first, don't panic. It is completely normal and very natural. It happens to every marriage.
And second, know that this week you have an opportunity to reignite the spark. Now remember, sparks by their very nature are small. So intentionally do something small this week. Initiate a conversation, light a candle, and create a moment.
Ask your partner out on a date. Leave a sticky note with some encouragement.
Surprise them with a favorite treat. Stop what you are doing and send them a text just to cheer them on.
Hey, read a marriage book together. Turn the TV off. Put your phones down. Grab a favorite drink and take turns asking each other some really great questions.
And watch for opportunities to lay down your life for one another with small acts of love that actually cost you.
And if you need a reminder, we'll lend you one that helps us on a daily basis. It's a little formula for making relationships work. STP. Selfless, truthful, and passionate. If you'd like to dig a little deeper, we invite you to pick up a copy of our book, The Relationship Rocket Formula. It's loaded with real-life stories from our marriage.
With biblical rocket fuel principles on every page, and with nearly 100 of our signature Fuel and Spark questions for you to work through together.
And if you have a minute, drop by our website. There you're going to find resources like more Fuel and Spark questions, free diagnostic quiz, a date idea generator, 50 blog articles. You can join our Fuel and Spark newsletter and our social media feed.
Well, it's time for others in your life group to hear your thoughts, to share some stories, and to see how these ideas of intentionality and sacrifice apply to you.